Yeah, so our plan here was really around an expedited path to production and not to have that federal permitting review be triggered by a throughput case of 5,000 ton per day or more. So we settled, not to be too cheeky, we settled on a 4,950 ton per day scenario designed to remain within provincial permitting. We're really going to be building upon the valid 2008 EIS. What's needed there for this PEA mine plan is to address two things. The one is the time lapse since 2008 EA work. Those data sets are quite old, and regulators will want to see that nothing in the baseline conditions has materially changed. So that's some of the work that's currently ongoing. And number two, the changes in footprint. Obviously, we're looking at bringing Athona into production from year one, as well as that larger waste rock and tailing storage facility Gareth has mentioned. So all this can be done building upon the existing data sets. We've got sort of 10 plus years of existing baseline data that's hugely advantageous, plus positive permitting precedent already for the project. Those baseline studies have been initiated. We've been doing aquatic as well as terrestrial studies through the late summer and fall. Those initial studies expected to finish up later this year, and that will prepare us for initial regulatory engagement in 2026. And that engagement's pretty key because at that point we'll be submitting a project description, which will trigger a duty to consult. It will also give us a better framework to estimate timelines for the project on the permitting side. We do know permitting is the critical path for the project. We think we can work through sort of pre-feas and feasibility quite quickly given the large amount of historical data sets. So it's important that we start that permitting now. On the community side, although that duty to consult will only be triggered potentially early next year, we've already started building those relationships, and that's really key. And this goes back to 2020 when we first started reactivating the project, and we culminated sort of our relationships with the communities into an exploration agreement in November 2022. It really formalizes what we've been doing already. And that agreement provides consent up to and including a definitive feasibility study. What will happen beyond that will it be an impact benefit agreement or an RBA. So negotiations toward that will start to commence fairly soon, and that agreement would need to be in place prior to construction of the project. On the project development side, we are starting that engagement. Engagement to date has been around exploration, but project development engagement is key to start that early. As I said, the duty to consult hasn't been triggered, but we're looking to start early engagements starting in Q4 this year. We're already lining up meetings, and that's working with Indigenous nations as well as the local municipalities to talk around the design of the mine and start to get feedback on that. Just two nice photos at the bottom here. The one on the left, just the Uranium City Fishing Derby. That's an annual event held just outside Uranium City. It draws people from all the neighboring communities and a really strong tradition amongst the communities. And we are very privileged and pleased to help sponsor that event. And Gareth and I both took part and helped with the event itself. Just on the right, there's the environmental crews arriving at that nice airstrip at Uranium City, about to start some of the terrestrial surveying.